Good morning, everybody. This is Truth and Oneness Discussion, Enlightened Living with Scorpio and Aquarius. So, what's going on today?
Well, today, thought we'd probably talk a little bit about, or at least open the discussion with eating, types of eating, like vegan, vegetarian, carnivore, omnivore type thing for human beings. Just because I've heard, I guess I've been listening to a lot of stuff recently and reading a lot of stuff, and came across some information that I kind of already knew, and I think we might have even done a video on it before, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it again because I think everyone's probably, well, not everyone, I don't know, but like, what's the proper thing to eat,
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, people can look into all this stuff on their own, but I just wanted to mention that it's kind of like I said, what we've been saying. It's like eat what is feels the best for you to eat, basically. I know there's a discussion. Actually, there's a lot of debates on like what human beings should be eating. Some people are like human beings are obviously herbivores because of the way their teeth are made, and I don't understand how that would even be a thing because if you look at true herbivores, most of them have some kind of like fermentation vat in their gut. Either they have like a four stomach system, or they have like the stomach that you know, grinds up their food. They have some kind of hindgut fermentation process. If you look at the true herbivores, most of them, I believe all of them actually, and humans don't have that. We have one little stomach. Okay, and it's a smooth lining stomach. It's not made to be crushing like leaves and twigs and crap. So no, human beings are not herbivores. Okay, I mean we can be herbivores, all right, but we're not like our bodies are not made to just eat plants. All right, but go ahead.
So, you're trying to tell me that we're not supposed to sit in a field and just chew cud all day? You sure about that? I mean,
You can. The
it
thing is,
fits.
you can if you want to. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And
I was just joking. It's because, yeah, it's like, it doesn't make any sense. Especially, it's like, even when you look at just like my teeth, I have very sharp canines. Unless they're just, I have these really sharp canines just to chew on twigs and break through the bark, I guess.
well, people try to compare us to the apes. The apes, they have gut systems, but most of them are omnivores. When you really look at it, they're an
Yeah.
omnivore. Or if you look at like the gorillas, they eat mostly fruit and like uh, green shoots or whatever. But even in some cases,
They eat.
they may. I haven't really looked into that enough, but I
So
can't
well,
really say.
sometimes they do go after other monkeys. Sometimes they actually do have to go after other monkeys. They'll knock them out of the
Not
tree.
gorillas.
Gorillas. Actually.
Whatever. We're in a discussion about gorillas now, but basically, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Okay, they are omnivores as well, basically, but they are choosing to mostly be vegetarian, which is what humans can do. We can be vegetarian or vegan if we want to, if our bodies are allowing that, or if it's um, right for our body, basically. And I think that just kind of depends on where someone's at. And basically, I think mostly this video is kind of like, don't just jump on the bandwagon, any kind of bandwagon that you see.
Yeah.
Do eat the food that's right for you, that feels the best for you. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I've always kind of, even before we started eating more organic and everything like that. Even like growing up and joining the military and everything like that, it's like people were always on these weird fad diets and stuff. I'm like, what are you doing now? And they're like, oh, now I'm doing like the egg white diet or something like that. I don't know if that's really a thing, but it's every time I always see, why are you doing that? Because I'm trying to lose weight. I'm like, do you feel good doing that? No. Then why are you doing it? It's like it always had a lot of questions more than answers. Like, so you're just doing this because it helps you lose weight, or at least you think it does, but you don't feel very good. So it's like your body's trying to tell you that it's not really that good for you. So that's where it comes. This kind of like what you were talking about, the whole bandwagon thing.
Well, yeah, like there's I think now there's like the carnivore diet, there's
Yeah,
the
keto,
keto,
and
and
then
like
there's the strict vegan, raw
vegan,
vegans.
raw vegan. Like there's a lot of different things out there, but yeah, that's mainly kind of, I guess, what we have found. I mean, I know we did a blood group diet uh, thing once, but only because we
It
did a
made us
video
feel
on that
better.
too. Yeah, we were eating and the foods based on blood group, and it did make us feel better. Um, and that, I think there's more to it than to that. I think it has something to do with like the energies that people process. Maybe is linked up to the blood group because of the doshas, um, the Ayurvedic diets,
Hmm.
they kind of almost align some way. It seems like there's
With
a
the
little
blood
bit of
groups.
correlation with the blood group diet if people look at it. But anyway, yeah. So it's like, and blood group diet's not a diet; it's a eating style. But also, so anyway, I also wanted to mention too because a lot of people, um, I've heard from several. So I listened to other people's channeled messages when they channel higher conscious beings or higher frequency conscious beings or whatever you want to call them. And I've heard several that, answer the question of should people be eating meat? Because that's, I think, a big question right now. A lot of people are, fear mongering about meat eating and like, guilt tripping people about meat eating. And the thing is from all the truly higher frequency channel messages that I've listened to of other people's, and what I feel like also is true is that yes, some people eat meat because or a lot of people really, because we have to. Um, and the whole thing is like, I think, let me try to just remember this one channel, this message, because they said it almost perfectly. That way I don't have to like stumble here. But they said uh, that eating meat, there's nothing wrong with it. Some human bodies need it to stay healthy, and and people shouldn't feel bad about it. It's a universal, agreement. It's an agreement between conscious beings before incarnating on this planet that some would be the predators and some would be the prey, and we fall into that. It was agreement with us too, as well as these other animals, and so it's okay from a cosmic perspective. We just have to deal with respect and honor to the animal that's being eaten or its life is being taken, and take it for what it is, and like don't feel guilty or don't do it out of hatred or that kind of thing. So do it with the highest frequency consciousness in mind when you do take in, and that should be done with all food that's eaten. Because again, plants are conscious in some way as well. So any food that you intake should be intaken with the highest frequency, the highest conscious um, frequency, or highest conscious like. Don't eat a salad and be angry at it, or don't
Yeah,
eat it out of guilt or out of anger for other people that are eating meat, or you know what I mean.
yeah.
um, yeah, so that I think is like I think important maybe for some people to hear because I hear a lot of like I listen to a lot of stuff and I just hear a lot of hate going back and forth still about vegans and meat eaters are gonna like go to hell or go to something for killing animals, and how could they,
Yeah.
and how can you use honey, how could you torture bees and use their honey or eat eggs, oh how could you eat eggs, that kind of thing. And I think we need to as a humanity kind of calm down from this like idea that we have to like police what other people are eating or doing, and just realize that everyone needs to kind of do what's best for their body system. And now that one channel message that I was listening to, they did say that in the future, most humans probably won't eat very much meat or very little meat, if any, and that but our bodies have to kind of catch up to that, to where we can, I guess, as a whole humanity, not consume much meat. But they also did touch on it, which we believe also is that people, especially in this country, the United States, eat way too much meat, and the way the meat is processed is not good in the slaughterhouse factories and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You're it's not humane, obviously, at all, and it's kind of infusing almost the meat with a low frequency vibration, and then they're making you eat it. And whoever else knows whatever they put in, all the chemicals and hormones and whatever else they mix into that. So getting commercial meat is not the way to go. If you are a meat eater, organic, okay, humane, kosher, whatever, yeah, is the way to go for sure. Or any animal product, really any food at all, but especially animal products, and especially meat. And then, okay, yeah. So yeah, that's interesting.
That is pretty interesting, especially when you think about like what you're talking about, like how people are like, "How dare you with the bees?" and "How dare you with the meat?" and all of that. It's like, here's the thing too. It's like a lot of people they don't need to be feeling guilty about it. They don't have to like judge other people, like you're saying. And one of the things that's funny about the whole like bees, honey, and stuff, like it's like it tastes good. So it's like it's even raw, fresh honey tastes good. So it's like, wait a second. So you're supposed to just be like something that's there. You're like, nope, can't touch that. You have to like go and grow vegetables or go to the store. It's like because uh, one of the things that's interesting that we've been doing recently is actually like foraging and finding things that are out in nature. Like most of this stuff you don't see it in the store, and a lot of people never even heard about it. Like I never heard about it. It's like, but
what are you
that's
talking about?
just food in general. Foraging, yeah. It's just interesting because like that's one of the things we started doing too is, and we encourage other people to do is try to figure out how you feel during different seasons and months and stuff like that, and like eat what makes you feel the best. Kind of develop like a cycle, like or a pattern, and see how you feel, not just like going on these diets, stuff like that.
Okay, so I think what you're saying is like don't just get what the store has available. Eat seasonally is pretty much what you're saying. And if you can eat seasonally, or if what's better than just seasonal eating is eating regionally. So whatever region you're a part of, whatever is growing naturally from the earth during that season. So we can break it up into the 4 main seasons if you want. So during summer, eat the fruits and whatever that come from the trees or and plants during the summertime, and yeah, so seasonal eating and region, because I think that I think I know pretty much that the earth provides earth is providing what it is that we need at the time that we need it, right? So during the wintertime, whatever the earth is producing, like a lot of nuts, acorns, or if you're from the south, a lot of nuts will fall to the ground, and people should be collecting them and using them for the winter. I think.
It's almost exclusively all across the country with the
Okay.
acorns and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, but this that kind of thing, I think is at least that's what we've been starting to do, or kind of just starting to do. But again, it goes back to what feels good. I think what they mentioned, and what also I think we agreed to, is that use your inner guidance. If you cut out all of, if you're one of those people that's still eating a lot of like processed foods, I've noticed that processed foods have a tendency to override your natural ability to pick foods that are good for your body. So if you start to cut down on processed foods, and so start kind of going organic, and once you get the majority of processed foods out of your diet, your body can actually tell what's real food and what's not real food, and it can actually start to pick, and you can get almost a sense of what your body needs at the moment. And that's how we should kind of be eating also. Just eat. Your body can guide you to what it needs to eat, pretty much, to keep it most balanced and most healthy.
Yeah, that is definitely true. I noticed after we kind of did that, it's like I have cravings for certain types of foods that it's way different than it used to be. Before, it's like I'm hungry, I want to eat something. Now it's like if I like say if I work out or something like that, then I'm like, I really would love to have something, kind of a mix of like something a little dense, maybe protein rich, but also with like salad or something to kind of break it up. But before, I'd just be like, I'm gonna have a big old steak or something like that and eat that. Then I just feel sluggish and like kind of beat down. and it carry over for like an entire day because I didn't have anything kind of to balance all that out. But overall, and then also it's like I moved into a bunch of different areas, and the climates and regions being completely different. But the pattern was like always around wintertime. I always kind of like ate, I'd say more dense foods, and then during the summer and spring when it was really warm, I was always like pretty light on my eating, and most of the stuff was really heavy water based, like salads and it'd be like watermelons and fruits and stuff like that, more often than not. But that was just me personally. It was just interesting when I think back about it all those times because I actually did have a pattern. I just didn't realize it.
Yeah, it's like start paying attention to what your body is telling you to eat, everyone. If you're not already doing that, because there are a lot of people that are doing that, of course. But and another thing, here's another thing that I heard someone mention, and I've always kind of figured this was the way it was anyway too, but I've heard it confirmed through multiple like channeling things too. Basically, the sun gazing, or
Oh
looking,
yeah, yeah.
watching the sun. They didn't necessarily use the word sun gazing, but they said watching the sun. Um, the sun does provide us. It changes our DNA, and I think it raises our frequency in some way, and it provides us some kind of like ability to produce nutrition, or it gives us like nutrition, kind of like it does for plants and trees. But basically, if you don't already sun gaze, it's something you might want to look into. We've been doing it. Well, mostly I've been doing it for years, but not consistently. But I do notice that when I do when I do it, I do notice a difference in how like my energy level, and like if I sun gaze, a day that I sun gaze, my hunger will go down. Like I'm not as hungry for food, which is interesting. But basically, sun gaze, you do it for 10 or 15 minutes or whatever, either in the morning or in the evening, an hour or two before it rises, or after it rises, or an hour or two before it sets. So the morning and the evening time, when it's lower in the sky, not as bright, it's when you sun gaze. And there's a proper way to do that, so people can go research that and look into it and decide if that's something you want to do. But it was mentioned that, yeah, I mean, the sun will help people to kind of their bodies to kind of upgrade to the point where they need less heavy, dense food to support itself. Um, and yeah, so give those people that want to be vegetarian or vegan probably more over time. Give them what they need to be a healthy vegan or vegetarian. And there's some people now that can be completely healthy vegan or vegetarians. Obviously, we're vegetarian. I grew up vegetarian. I don't see any issue with being a vegetarian, but I've never tried being a full vegan.
Yeah.
But I know people can do that healthily, and some people can't. Some people I don't think can be vegetarian either, and some people I don't think can just be full carnivores, and some people can. So this one, it goes back to the whole everyone's a little different. There's no real right or wrong to it. You just do what is good for your innards, what is aligning to your highest conscious self, and don't turn around pointing the finger at other people for what they're doing. That's not like what you're doing, kind of thing. Yeah.
Pretty much. Because yeah, definitely, it's like stop worrying so much about what other people are doing. You really just need to focus on what you're doing and what makes you happy and healthy. Because when you're happy and healthy, you kind of share that with other people. Stop worrying. Stop caring about anyone
they can
else.
take the useful bits from that. Other people can take the useful bits that you're sharing and use it as they need or want, right? No more forcing, which I used to do a lot, by the way, everyone. No more forcing information down people's throats. Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like when you spread like that happiness and love, like especially if it's like if you found like if you stop caring, let go of your ego, like let go of like what other people are judging you on what you're doing or saying or eating. That actually is a good thing to do because it's supposed to like kind of calm your nerves or whatever, and then you might even be able to find out what you're supposed to be eating because you're like not so tense and pent up about like what you
Are you
feel like you
saying?
should be eating. It's like it'll give you an opportunity to be like, okay, now that I'm not like worried and so focused on it, how do I feel now when I eat this? Do I like it? Do I feel better? Do I feel worse? And go from there. Don't just do what everyone else is telling you to do to lose weight, to gain weight, whatever. Following diets. Start from the basics. How do you feel after you eat?
It's about balance, everyone. About balance, and if you're at a kind of a neutral place or mid zone or whatever, I don't know. Moderation is always a good thing if you don't know exactly like what specifically, because we don't need to know what specifically unless it comes to you, right?
Yeah.
But moderation, I think, is the key until you get to a point where you don't want to moderate it. Be as much as far as like do as much moderation, and you want to do more specifics, like because your body's telling you to do more specifics, right? But yeah.
Absolutely. Anything you'd like to end on?
I think that is all. Yes, just listen to your insides. Listen, calm, like what you said, calm the ego, calm the mind. Realize it's okay to eat. Moderation, if that's where you're at, and
get away from processed
get away
foods.
from highly processed foods if you can. And just enjoy what you're eating too. Be grateful and thankful to what you're eating, and yeah, enjoy yourself.
All right, everybody.